What's happening, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the Creatia Conversation, the number one news source for all that nerdish on the hub. I'm your host, Lord Cussalot Travis Pointer, aka the Dragon King, aka Big T, aka T Money, aka Sweet T, aka Black Merlin, aka the HNIC. And I'm joined today by my co-host, the one and only Vince Daddy Delgado. How you doing today, sir?
I'm doing better. Travis. It was battling a bit of a little sore throat, a little bit of a cold over the weekend since Thursday. Finally feeling up to my normal self. I'm about like 90%, but 90% is better than nothing. So I'm here. I'm excited. I'm glad to talk nerdy with you, man.
Glad to have you back, sir. Glad to have you back. You're right. 90% of something is better than 100% of nothing. You are absolutely correct
Mm-hmm.
there. What
Yes,
you been
sir.
up to though? It's been a while. What you been watching? What you been playing? What's going on with Vince Delgado these days?
Well, in terms of playing, I haven't really had a chance to play much. I have, however, started my rewatching of the Saw franchise
Okay.
because Matt, cheap plug here, is going to be doing a getting off episode of the Saw franchise in lieu of the upcoming Saw X movie that's coming out in October. So I put my hat in the ring for whenever they talk about Saw because it's my favorite horror franchise. So I finished Saw 1 through 4, which is
You could have
which
stopped
are
there.
say what?
So you could have stopped there. But go ahead.
Well, that's all I've watched so far.
I know.
Um,
You can just stop there and just not watch any more of them. Like
um,
I honestly feel like you can stop after 3, but 4 I'll accept.
4 was, I will say, I'll save the talk for getting off, but I will say 4 wasn't as interesting for me initially to start because John is dead. Obviously, spoiler. If you
Mhm.
haven't watched these films since the early 2000s, what are you doing? But yeah, so I'm doing that. So I've only really watched up until Saw 4. So everything else is brand new. So I'm gonna start watching Saw 5, hopefully at some point today. And then by Saturday, Sunday, whenever he's recording, I'll be done. I'm not looking forward to it, but I'm still gonna watch Spiral, the Book of Saw.
That's the
So
one. Ain't Chris Rock in that?
yeah, that's the one with Chris
Yeah,
Rock. I think
yeah.
Samuel L. Jackson's in it too. So I'm only gonna. I'm excited for Samuel L. Jackson in there. And speaking of Samuel L. Jackson, I watched the first episode of Secret Invasion. I
Hmm.
didn't watch the second one because it wasn't still available on my Disney Plus for some reason.
It came out today.
Well, I knew it was coming out today, but I thought it would be available at midnight or something, similar to She-Hulk. But it was like 1 in the morning. I still didn't have it, so I'm like, I guess I'll watch it at some point Wednesday. Apparently now it's available because I see everybody talking about episode 2 and stuff.
Yeah. About to say, I know it comes out on Wednesdays, so
No. It does come out on Wednesday, but I was watching it last night and I thought maybe by midnight Central Standard Time would be available, but it wasn't. Aside from that,
I think it drops at midnight on the West Coast, not Central.
ah, so
I'm
that
not
would be
positive
what?
about that. I might be making that up, but that'll be 2 o'clock in the morning for you.
Okay, that sounds about right. Shout out to Will. Sounds like he's first. And last but not least, I finished Young Justice, the entire 4 seasons. It
Okay.
was really, really good. Yeah.
It is. It's a
Uh,
very good show. I haven't seen the last season, but it is really, really good.
I won't spoil anything for you. I'd say if you haven't rewatched like the series, I like to rewatch the whole series before going to the final season.
I probably would if I'm gonna watch that last season. I would watch everything leading up to it. I just don't know when I'd find the time. But
Yeah, especially since we don't know if there's going to be a fifth season because it
mm,
hasn't been renewed.
a lot of things haven't been renewed right now. But that's just
Yeah.
we're in a very odd situation. We got the writers on strike. We got the actors about to go on strike in like 3 days. Like it's
all I will
everything's
s-
falling apart.
all I will say about the fourth season is that it was told much differently than the 3 seasons prior. Normally, it's usually like an episode to episode basis, maybe like 2 episodes tops, that there's some continuity with the previous episode.
Mm-hmm.
The way they chose to do it is they do 3 to 4 episodes, focus on a select group of heroes,
Mm-hmm.
and only tell their side of the story. Then they move on 3, 4 more episodes and focus on other characters, and they do that throughout the series up until you get to like the final ones. Even once you get to the final episodes, they still only focus on a handful of characters. So I won't say who they are, but I will say I did enjoy this way. It was a
So
little
kind of
bit.
like the way they did Justice League Unlimited.
Oh yeah, similar to that.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. But instead of just doing one or 2 episodes, they did like a whole 3, 4 mini arc.
Got you.
But
Got
they
you.
all connects. It all connects.
Yeah, makes sense. Got you.
Yeah.
Got you.
How about you, Travis? What you been up to? What you been playing?
Not much new that I've been watching. Nothing that I haven't talked about before. Still working our way through the last season of Picard. I think we got 2 episodes left of that.
Right.
Star Trek Strange New Worlds is back, so we're watching that. I believe the episode that drops today is the one with the crossover to Lower Decks, so that's going to be fun. Let me think. Anything? Yeah, Secret Invasion, like you said, we're watching that. The season finale and I guess series finale, because this show isn't coming back. Gotham Knights happened last night. Also, the season finale of Superman and Lois, because that is coming back, was last night. We'll be talking more about that tomorrow with Mara, along with Secret Invasion for our Creatia comic moment. But as far as what I've been playing, I finally got a chance to sit down and play Final Fantasy 16, Vince.
How is it?
Oh, it's fucking fantastic. Like, whew, my God. Like, story-wise, I would say I'm not even, super far into it. I'd say maybe like 3 hours into it, maybe 4. I'm not sure. But story-wise, probably the best Final Fantasy I've played ever.
Really? I was just about to ask you where it ranked in your Final Fantasy games.
As far as just being a favorite Final Fantasy, it's still not above 7 for me. But I haven't finished it yet, so I can't say that definitively. But story-wise, this is the best storytelling I've seen in a Final Fantasy yet. It is like they've been saying they want it to feel like Game of Thrones, and it fucking does. Like there's the politics and the betrayals and all that kind of stuff happening. There's surprises happen, like, oh no, there's a betrayal. They had their red wedding moment, like it literally happened. It happened earlier than it would have happened in Game of Thrones. They didn't take the time to build for that, but it made sense where it happened, so it was still really good.
Are they doing like random sex scenes in the middle of the storyline, like Game of Thrones?
They tease some sex. I haven't seen a titty yet though.
If you see a titty, will that solidify it as the best Final Fantasy?
No, because I've played other games with titties in them, and they don't make them the best game. It's just
All right, fair enough.
But then it was like, okay, I'm feeling the Game of Thrones, but like I'm watching, like there's something that's giving it that extra, and I'm like, what is it? And then I heard somebody say something like this. I'm gonna kind of like rephrase the way they put this, but they combined it with something else that made it make so much sense to me. And I'm gonna say it this way: it's basically like Game of Thrones met Dragon Ball Z, and Dragon Ball Z taught Game of Thrones how to do the fusion dance.
Well, I mean, that's a unique way to put it, things.
But yeah, it's like Dragon Ball Z met Game of Thrones. Like it's just they got the Game of Thrones, like epicness and the storytelling and the betrayals and the politics and all that happening. But then every now and then they throw this huge epic battle thrown in where 2 big bad motherfuckers just boom, 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 tearing the whole world apart, fighting each other and shit. It was fucking fantastic. Like,
and how far in the game do you say you are?
Probably like 4 hours or so.
How much hours the gameplay this is supposed to have?
From what I've seen, people are saying it's about 50 to 55 hours long. And that was when they did everything, though, so I'm not sure.
So you're maybe like 10% into the game. Then.
Yes.
See, that's great. I'm excited for you, man. That's exciting because that's how I felt with Spider-Man. Because I think I barely had finished the Kingpin mission, and I had already felt like I did a
Oh, that's
lot
the
of the game.
opening mission.
That's the opening mission. You haven't even done anything. Not even DLC. Then you get Miles. Oh man, there was so much shit.
I had a great time playing Spider-Man too when it first happened. It was just like
Mhm.
just that initial feeling as you're swinging through the city, like, okay, yep, I love this already. I'm never putting this down. Like
I
I get
I
it.
think I was like swinging around for like maybe like a full extra 5 to 10 minutes before I even got to the Kingpin
Yeah,
Tower
yeah, fuck
because
Kingpin. I ain't got time for you. I'm swinging through the city right now. Yeah,
yeah,
I get it.
exactly. I was just
I didn't do
enjoying
that
the
myself, but I understand why you would.
yeah no, definitely fun. Uh, that's exciting, man. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'll pick it up. I don't know if I have time for video games at the moment
It's one
because
of those
it's
things. If you're gonna commit to it, you're gonna have to make time for it because it's just like, yeah, I was able to play it last night, but honestly, I got a lot of shit happening now. I'm pretty sure I won't get a chance to pick it back up till Saturday, but we'll see.
that's disappointing. That's
Yeah,
disappointing. Well, we'll see. Hopefully, you get a chance to play it some more, man, during the week.
yeah. Well, we'll see what I got going. Maybe I might be able to do it on Friday too. I'm not sure. We'll see. However,
Yes.
just want to tell everybody thank you for being here. If you're watching us later, know that you can watch us live at twitch.tv/Creatia World. You can also, while you're there, hit that subscribe button and subscribe to us on Twitch. If you have Amazon Prime, that means you have Prime Gaming, which means you get a free subscription every month. And you also get a lot of free stuff through them. I'll talk about some of the other free perks you get through Amazon Prime later. It's actually one of our stories tonight. Today, not tonight, man. It's only afternoon, it's lunchtime. That's why we're doing this now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lunchtime.
But anyway, subscribe there for free when you have Prime Gaming. Combine your Amazon Prime with your Twitch account, free subscription, all that, and other free perks like loot and games and all that stuff. But you can also watch us live on YouTube at youtube.com/Creatia World. And while you're there, subscribe as well. That's free. That don't cost you a thing. And also, there's a little bell next to there over there. You hit that, it's a little bean on it. Flick that bean on the bell. Do that. And every time we drop something new, every time we go live, all that good stuff. And speaking of flicking the bean, you want to also watch us. You can watch us on pornhub.com/model/Creatia World, which is Matt's favorite place for you to watch us. So make Matt happy and watch us there. And if you want to support us financially, the best way to do that is on Patreon, patreon.com/Creatia World, where for just $1, you get access to a lot of our extra stuff. We got stuff like Return to Wrestling with myself and the Warden Matt Ritter, where we're talking old WCW. We just finished talking World War III of 1997, making our way into Starrcade 1997, perhaps the biggest night in WCW history. So it's a great time. And when you do that, you also get all the back stuff, like everything from the beginning of Return to Wrestling all the way through where we are now. And that's a lot of episodes.
Yeah.
Nitro started in 1995. So we're in the end of 97. So imagine a new
That's
episode
2
for every
years
month.
worth of content.
Exactly. So enjoy that. Also, Multiverse with myself and Mara Shark Watkins. We're making our way through a lot of animated comic book movies. We just did Flashpoint Paradox, which is one that'll get you, something better apparently than what the Flash movie that just came out is. That I guess they poorly did the same story. So
I heard the story was good, but the CGI is what everyone's complaining about.
I mean, I don't think that's enough to make people like shit on the movie that bad though. Bad CGI is forgivable if the story and the action and everything else is good enough. Like, so if people are complaining about the CGI, that means they noticed it, which means other things were bad.
Could be. I have yet to watch the film. I don't think I am going to go watch it. But if you do watch it, Travis, you let us know.
I will. From how poorly it's doing at the box office, I'm sure it'll be on Max in no time. So
yeah, by the end of July, it'll be on Max.
I'm not worried about it. I'm not in a rush to see it, especially these days when I got so much going on. I'm not going to waste my time going to a movie that I know is not going to matter in the long run. So
yeah, I mean, there were movies like the Mario movie and Fast X. They're on their way to Peacock.
I mean, yeah, that's one of our stories we'll be talking about later on. But
Yeah, exactly, and we'll talk
yeah.
about that. But yeah, so the Flash movie will be there soon.
Yeah. Speaking of our stories, though, it is Newsy time. So let's get into our stories, Vince. Let's start with our big one because this is the big thing that's just happening for a while now. Today is actually the end of all this. Today is the last day of the trial. We got more news from the trial that's been accumulating. So let's talk about it. So, this story comes from IGN, from Rebecca Valentine. She was actually like in the building and all that kind of stuff. This is from when she was in the courtroom, I believe, yesterday. So she says, today's FTC versus Microsoft trial was bad radio if you were tuning in to the trial for spicy testimony. While we certainly got a few highlights, such as Jim Ryan calling Xbox Game Pass value destructive. Jim Ryan's one of the head people over at Sony, and admitting that Starfield exclusivity was not anti-competitive. Much of the third day of testimonies was devoted to lengthy back and forth between lawyers and economists over the definition of relevant markets. Not exactly easy listening, but there are two pretty significant elements of today's testimony that you may not read about elsewhere, and they're not exactly headline fodder, but which may shape the ultimate verdict more than you'd expect. So, here's one big thing. So Jim Ryan, Phil Eisner, and the redacted testimony. So much of the ink spilled over today will focus on what was in Sony Interactive Entertainment head Jim Ryan's video deposition. But what was most interesting was what wasn't there. From the courtroom watching the video feed of Ryan's testimony, it was apparent that veritable swaths of deposition were missing. So a time stamp near the start of the video indicated the testimony was begun roughly around 9 a.m. Time zone unclear on April 6, 2023. But as the deposition wore on and redaction after redaction was introduced, the clock skipped ahead dramatically and a container of water next to Ryan filled and emptied again. This testimony seemed to wear on all day on the 6th and even into the 7th, concluding roughly around noon on a second day. Now, it's good to be generous. Ryan likely took multiple breaks to step out, blah, 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 blah. So, let me make sure there's nothing else crazy in there. Yeah, so they condensed it down to 70 minutes. Yeah, and then we had a whole day last week. Phil Spencer was on the stand last week. Also, NVIDIA general manager. NVIDIA is the one that make graphics cards for people and all that. Phil Eisner similarly had 9 minutes of deposition that per timestamp seemed to span an entire half day with multiple missing segments. What then is contained in the redacted testimony? Dun, dun, dun. But yeah. Economists were talking a lot of shit. Let's see. Yeah, basically they were going back and forth about what constitutes as antitrust and all that kind of stuff. Value destructive. Jim Ryan was talking about Xbox Game Pass when he said it was value destructive, basically saying because Xbox Game Pass does that thing, you pay $10 a month and you get all of these games, whether it even like brand new games that are Xbox exclusive games and all that kind of stuff that would normally be $70. You get them for just paying $10 a month over on Xbox, and it kind of messes with the value of games, which messes up their business, what they're arguing. But yeah, there's a lot here, and I'm very interested to see how this turns out, because if this doesn't go well, because it's over today, after today, once they reach a verdict, if they don't rule in Xbox's favor, the deal with Activision might not happen at all. So,
that's a tough loss right there. That's good. That's going to be a double deck loss, man.
Oh yeah. But we'll see what happens. I'm very interested, but.
Will this have any impact on me or any of my PlayStation consumption?
Not unless you like really into Activision games.
No.
Because it's not even going to affect Call of Duty, because Call of Duty will still come to PlayStation if this does go through. So,
fantastic! There you go.
This is really just two multi-billion-dollar businesses just being, petty and not wanting the other to have good things. So it's most of this is not going to affect us at all.
Yeah, no.
But the whole thing, just hearing the things that have come out of this, like things like, that probably weren't supposed to be announced yet, had to be brought up like during these trials and all that kind of stuff. That's what makes this so great. Also, like you hearing things that people are saying behind closed doors that are being brought out into the light now with, testimonies and all that is like, ooh, y'all are petty. Like it's the best reality TV show you haven't watched. Like
they're not
really
televising
crazy.
the trial. They haven't been televising the trials, have they?
No. This is all reports from people who were there.
Could you imagine how fantastic this would be if they kind of shot it like an episode of SVU, and then like dun dun, and then they're over here making their cases in the courtroom and shit? That would have been fantastic.
Yeah, I'd enjoy that. All right, so I got something else I wanted to talk to you about specifically.
Sweet.
AEW Fight Forever is out.
Yes.
The reviews are up. Let's look at what they're saying on Open Critic, just to, because that's who I usually look at when it comes to game reviews and what people are saying. Right now, the critic average on Open Critic is a 62.
Ooh.
35% of critics recommend this game, which doesn't sound great until you actually read the reviews. So, Games Radar gave it a 3.5 out of 5 stars, so that would be like a 7 out of 10. An encouraging debut for the big new rival to WWE with loads of welcome throwback nods to No Mercy and Fire Pro. And the career mode you won't be able to resist playing through multiple times. But then GameSpot is saying All Elite Wrestling's first match in the video game ring is a solid outing that doesn't quite live up to its real world product. And we got Game Informer is saying, if nothing else, AEW Fight Forever has potential. I'm happy to have a more arcade-style wrestling game, especially one based on a major promotion. The gameplay has a strong foundation, and when it's firing on all cylinders, the action channels the simple fun of the 90s and early 2000s. The rest of the package just needs to catch up. Until it does, even the most passionate AEW fans may have a hard time sticking around for this main event. So that's kind of the general gist of it, is like, what you're starting out with, it's okay. It's cool. You can have some fun with it, but build on that, make it better and all that.
Yeah, what it sounds like to me is they were served a very solid cheeseburger, but it was just nothing but like the cheese and the patty. And sometimes I can eat a cheeseburger like that, maybe add some ketchup and I'll be fine depending on where I'm going. But I like to add some condiments to my burger. And that it sounds like that's what it was missing. I knew from the jump I wasn't excited for this game to get a day one because I knew it was going to be a game that at least it was being advertised as something that it was going to be continuously added to, similar to a Street Fighter game. It wasn't going to be a yearly installment type of game where they update it every single time. They're just going to update characters, have DLC available, make patches to the game. But it felt like a very arcade style of game. Matt seems to be very much enjoying this kind of game idea because of all the shenanigans you can do. Like you can throw bombs at people and all this other stuff. So
yeah,
he
likes
that. He likes that. I don't know. It doesn't seem like if the graphics were better, I feel like I'd be more inclined to get it. But I'm not gonna pay almost $60 for a PS5 game when it looks like it has PS2 graphics. Probably no less than PS2 graphics. That's like N64 graphics almost.
You haven't played an N64 in a long time if you think that's N64 graphics.
Okay, fine. PlayStation 1 then.
That's the same generation, bro. Like
PlayStation 1 had like slightly better. So what would you say? It's like what, PS3 graphics then?
I'd probably, if you're gonna judge it on what was the best graphics of a certain generation, it probably would be like in line with the best that PS3 had. Because your memory of something versus the reality of something is often very different. And I'm not talking about you specifically. I'm talking about us in general.
I don't know, man. SmackDown vs. Raw 2006 and 2007 for the PS2 was pretty spot on.
Pick it up and play it again now.
I have it right now. I dusted off my my PS2. That's one thing I didn't mention earlier on is I dusted off my PS2 and I busted out Need for Speed Most Wanted just to check out my cars because I was
Mhm.
watching all the fast movies and they got me into like a fast movie type of franchise vibe.
Yeah.
So I already have everything set up, so I'll
All the
probably
all the games that were made to have like quote like realistic looking graphics, they all look bad now. Like that's just how it is. Now the ones that had a style to them, like games like Nintendo games and Mario games and all that, they don't look bad like that because they were made to have a style. They're like they're
right.
cartoony. There's an art style there. Those age much better than the ones that are supposed to be more photorealistic.
Monty says it's the Mandela effect. It might be. It might be. Not gonna discount that, but I don't know. It's an alternative for the WWE franchise that has long kind of like monopolized the wrestling video game scene. And if I'm being honest with you, like this is something that every single genre game needs. It needs competition so it continues to improve. If enough people buy this game, even if at launch they don't, and a lot of people are hyping up this game, 2K games are actually going to try to like step their game up and do something better with WWE. Because right now they just kind of give us like decent stuff, but it's not really anything like game changing, you know? And
Mhm.
I've long said this about NBA 2K ever since NBA Live disappeared and never came back. You need competition because if not, they're not going to focus on the gameplay anymore. They have a monopoly on that genre of video game, and they're not going to improve. And they're just going to give you the same game over and over and over again, and just push microtransactions down your throat because they know they're the only game in town.
Yeah, that tracks. That's kind of how it works. I mean, things get stale when there's nobody to compete against and try to outdo or anything like that. You get complacent. It's
Yeah, that's why. Even though I don't watch it all the time, even though I will say Collision is just a much better product, even though I don't watch Dynamite every single week, I'm a fan of AEW existing because it makes WWE want to do better.
I've said that before too. I don't like the product, but I'm glad it exists.
I will say
I just don't want Keith Lee there. Like, that's really my main gripe with them right now.
that man grew gray hair and started tag teaming with Dustin Rhodes. Not Goldust, Dustin Rhodes. Like, what are you doing?
I
On the
don't
plus
know.
on the
See,
plus
I
side,
wish you hadn't told me that. Like,
oh, I'm sorry. On the plus side, at least Luchasaurus is our TNT champion.
oh, he is?
Yeah. He won it 2 weeks ago.
I didn't know what happened. Matt told me some good stuff happened and it involved Luchasaurus because he wanted me to watch it. I know it deep down. He knew I wasn't actually going to watch it, but he was
That,
hopeful.
that was the good news about Luchasaurus.
I mean, I figured that was what it was.
Yeah. So I would say if you have a Saturday evening to yourself on TNT, go ahead and check it out at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Nah.
It's not bad. It's not a bad watch. I haven't watched the second episode because I went out and actually had plans. But yeah,
I won't, but y'all do that. Cool. Yeah, I mean, that is some good news. And, I have some good news for you all out there because, the good news is if you're watching this on patreon.com/creation world, you can get this show and all of our other shows ad free. But since you're watching us live right now, not watching us on patreon.com/creation world, here's some ads from our sponsors. It's fucking up. You're muted too.
yeah. Let me see here. You want me to see if I can play it?
Yeah, it still just keeps saying it's having trouble playing, sharing the video, and try sharing again. You know what? Y'all got lucky. There's no ad today.
Then it's time to check
out.
out Adam and Eve. Did you see Adam and Eve is the leading adult toy store that offers a wide range of products to help you explore your sexual desires. Whether you're looking for something to use solo or with a partner, they have everything you need to satisfy your cravings. From vibrators to lingerie, bondage gear to lubricants, AdamandEve.com has it all. And the best part, you can shop with confidence, knowing that all their products are of high quality and backed by a 100% satisfaction guarantee. That means whether you bought a dildo, sex swing, penis ring, vibrator, anal sex toy, bondage toy, couples toy, lube, or accessory, you can get a refund within 90 days if you're not 100% satisfied. No questions asked. And right now, as a special offer to our listeners, Adam and Eve is giving you 50% off almost any item on their website. That's right, 50% off. And if you act now, you'll also get free shipping. So go to adamandeve.creationworld.com and use the offer code erotica at checkout. That's erotica at adamandeve.creationworld.com for 50% off almost any item and free shipping. Don't wait. This offer won't last very long. The link is in the description. Attention dog lovers. Are you looking for high quality products to spoil your furry friend? Then you need to check out dog.com. Because you see, dog.com is the go-to online store for all your dog-related needs. They offer a huge selection of dog food, treats, beds, and more. Plus, they have products for all types of dogs, from puppies to seniors and everything in between. And the best part, you can shop with confidence knowing that all their products are made with your dog's health and happiness in mind. Dog.com only stocks top-rated brands that you can trust, so you can rest easy knowing your dog is getting the best. And right now, as a special offer to our listeners, Dog.com is doing a big warehouse clearance sale. And all you have to do is go to dog.creationworld.com and you can get up to 80% off on all sorts of items like toys, treats, bones, harnesses, bowls, leashes, and anything else you can think of. So go to dog.creationworld.com and take advantage of this sale right now. Spoil your furry friend with the best products from dog.creationworld.com today. Link is in the description. Are you tired of feeling sluggish and unfocused throughout the day? Then it's time to try Dubby, the ultimate energy source. Dubby is a powerful, clean energy drink that is designed to help you stay alert and focused no matter what life throws your way. Whether you're a student, a busy professional, an athlete, or especially a gamer, Dubby can give you the boost you need to take on the day or the night. It also contains important aminos and vitamins that canned energy drinks simply don't have. And the best part, Dubby is made with high quality ingredients and is completely sugar-free, maltodextrin-free, and is keto-friendly. So you can enjoy the energy boost without any of the crash, jitters, or angst that comes with traditional energy drinks. Simply mix Dubby with water and you'll have a delicious, refreshing energy drink that can help you power through your entire day. And with a variety of flavors to choose from, including Galaxy Grenade, Beach and Peach, and Dragonade, you're sure to find one that you love. So go to dubby.creationworld.com and order your Dubby today. And for a limited time, use code Creatia at checkout to get 10% off your order. That's Creatia at dubby.creationworld.com for 10% off. Try Dubby today and feel the difference. The link is in the description. And we're back, and it's still newsy time. But how would you feel watching a little trailer here?
I love watching trailers, Travis.
Let's watch a trailer. See if this thing's going to cooperate now. Here we go. It says The Collective.
I think that's the one with Sasha Banks in it.
I know Tyrese is in it.
Yeah, Tyrese is in this one. I think Vin Diesel's in this one.
Village Fall. It's code. Don't forget it.
The CIA have a list of enemies they consider untouchable.
Take a look at that file.
Miro Lundell, notorious human trafficking kingpin, basically untouchable.
So is he?
I recognize that white boy from somewhere, and I can't remember where.
I know you. What do you want to know?
Works for the DA. You watch
I like to believe he was in an episode of SVU.
and take care of him yourself.
The collective getting close to finding us.
Want that collective dead. Dead.
Found him. I'll send some guys.
Interesting to see Ruby Rose again. I haven't seen her in anything in a
We speak
while.
for the innocent,
Yeah, that's true.
jury and execution.
Let's make him fall.
Like ever since she left Batwoman.
We have a problem.
That's well done.
We're in a league of our own.
I saw that movie. The Collective.
You blew up my house, Sam.
It happens.
Alpha Entertainment says, I kind of feel bad I can't take Tyrese seriously anymore. Well, honestly, that's the Fast franchise's fault. That we
I
can't
don't
take
think
Tyrese
that's why
seriously.
he said that.
Oh, okay. That's what he meant.
No, I think he's still talking about that video with him crying into the camera. What do you want from me? Whatever, and all that. I think that's what he's referring to. I'm not sure, but I think that's what he means.
I mean, you can let us know. I don't know. It seemed like a decent movie. I seem to enjoy it. I heard Sasha's in it, so yeah, I'd probably be inclined to watch it at some point. Probably not go to the theaters to watch it. I'm not spending my money for it, but at some point it might be on HBO or Amazon Prime or Peacock. So once it migrates over there, I'll probably watch it there.
Well, Vince, something else is on its way to Peacock since you brought it up. Super Mario Brothers, the Super Mario Brothers movie is officially coming to Peacock.
Yes.
This comes from comicbook.com for Mark the Champs. After making more than $1 billion at the box office, the Super Mario Brothers movie finally released on physical media earlier this month. Okay, it felt weird to me at first. Okay, it seems that the movie will make its streaming debut on Peacock, which was revealed in a commercial now airing on the streaming service. The commercial merely states that it's coming soon, and has prompted users to ask Peacock exactly when we might see the Super Mario Brothers movie added. Unfortunately, the company's Twitter account claims that there is currently no news, so fans will have to wait a bit longer for the release date. Quote, no news at the moment regarding the Super Mario Brothers movie coming to Peacock. A reply from the account reads, we're always looking to add the content you love. Should you have any further inquiries, feel free to reach back out to us. So yeah, it's coming to Peacock, Vince.
Yeah.
They haven't said when yet, but they were like, hey, it's coming to Peacock.
I'm trying to remember what I was watching on Peacock the other day. But essentially what it was is it was a commercial that kept going in between shots of Fast X and the Mario movie and saying that both were coming soon to Peacock, but I didn't give a date. So that's why when you already mentioned that, I already knew. I just thought they had given us an update on when that would be, but apparently not.
No, I haven't seen ads on Peacock in a very long time. They don't do the stuff that Paramount Plus does where you pay for ad free, but then they still show you ads at the very beginning. But it's like ads for stuff on Paramount Plus, so they think I give them a pass for that. No, fuck that. I paid for ad free. I don't want to see this shit.
Yeah, I'm not sure what it was that I was watching on there, but yeah, I still pay for the ad version of Peacock, so that's what it was.
Yeah, I got you. That's why I didn't notice this before. I'm like, I wouldn't have known because I don't see the ads on Peacock. Let me see. I got another not an ad, a trailer here. Let's watch.
Yeah, let's watch it. Let's do it.
This is Superpower, the DC story. It's a documentary.
Heroism is just very simple. Anytime somebody uses courage when they're afraid in the name of something good.
It's stories about hope, about redemption. It's the same themes that have been underlying our folk tales since the beginning of time.
Throughout history, there have been mythic characters that we told stories about. Superheroes are what they are now, and DC is the grand proscenium of superheroes.
It is impossible to think about this in this way today, but back then, no one had ever seen anything quite like that.
Well, if I
There
could
had to be a first.
something tells us to fight for what's right, that's really the power. That's really being super.
I don't think
I like how they talk about it like Marvel isn't a thing or other comic franchises weren't a
DC
thing.
was first.
the physical act of empowerment at the right cultural moment. There were comic book burnings across America.
The code and the persecution of comics make the people who were producing the comics feel oppressed.
It was a creative stranglehold. Women should not be featured in prominent roles.
People were afraid. They really were.
You would find an image and somehow map a ton of homosexual overtones to that.
In the case of Wonder Woman, maybe not entirely untrue.
When I first read Watchmen, it was a religious experience.
All of us need to go back to being kids and believe that we can do the right thing.
It's reflecting who we are today.
Superheroes, supervillains, anti-heroes. There is a DC character for every person in the world.
We can't be stuck in the past. We have to take those characters and move them into the
Reggie Hudler.
and go, well, what's cutting edge now?
Still not a fan of what they did with Black Adam, but you know, to each his own.
You can tell impactful stories about anything. What you need is the courage to tell them.
July 20th on Max, y'all.
Yeah, it's coming up. You know what? It seems just like a docuseries, and I'm a big fan of watching docuseries. I just enjoy like a retelling of like historical events or just like just
so let me
something like that. Yeah.
Let me just read this description for you. So, narrated by Rosario Dawson, Superpower, the DC story takes an unprecedented look at the enduring and influential legacy of DC, allowing fans to rediscover the universe of characters as well as the iconic comic book company's origins, its evolution, and its nearly 9-decade cultural impact across every artistic medium, featuring a wealth of interviews with the industry's most prolific creators and the actors who bring their iconic characters from the page to the screen. Superpowered, the DC story reminds us that the heart of DC are the comics, the 4-color fantasies that forever spark the imagination and instill hope.
Well, I don't know. I might check it out. I'll see how the first episode goes. If it's a thing where they have everything bench ready just from the jump, then yeah, I'll probably watch everything consecutively. But if it's a thing where it's like a weekly thing, similar to Secret Invasion, I might have to wait and see how the first episode is, and if I forget about it, I probably forget about it.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see. I'll take a look at it.
Vince, I believe he's talking to you.
Oh yeah, I was just waiting for you to finish so I could answer. But honestly, I don't like what they / The Rock did. I don't like what they did in general with Black Adam. It's the same reason I don't like the Tom Hardy Venom films. It's like you can't do Venom without Spider-Man because it's an integral part of the story. You can't do Black Adam without Shazam. You just can't.
I'll continue to say this. While The Rock is not blameless in the situation, The Rock does not own Warner Brothers. Nothing that The Rock can try to say or do can happen unless Warner Brothers lets it happen. So it is what it is. Like he can say, like, I don't want to do the blah, blah, blah. Okay, fine. Then we won't do the movie with you. Like, they could have done that. It is 100% in their power to do it. He does not own that character.
No, he doesn't, honestly. And he was trying to like do his own little mini franchise within the DC universe. And it's like, look, if you're The Rock, yeah, why not fucking do it? I'm not blaming him for fucking doing it. But essentially what you're saying, Travis, is what I know happened is they essentially had a board meeting. The Rock whipped out his dick on the table and everyone was just like, well, fuck, we don't want his dick on the table at the moment. But if we tell him to move his dick, then he's not going to do the movie. They were just too afraid to like remove The Rock.
That's what I'm saying. Like, and you say here, if he plays the role, yes, then do it with somebody else. Like, you have that power. They don't have to use The Rock.
Yeah, between Vin Diesel, The Rock, and I forget the name of the dude that plays Shaw. But all three of those guys have rules in their contracts where they contractively they can't lose a fight. Then
Yeah,
these
I've heard that. I've never actually seen that, but yeah. Jason Statham. Yes, that's the name you should think.
Yeah, that's exactly. So it's like, how are you gonna create a DC super? Look, I get it that at some point in the comics he does become an anti-hero similar to Venom and other characters, but
he's a villain first. You have to get there.
A villain first. You have to tell the villain origin story, and then go on from there. You know, and then 9 times out of 10, the villains usually lose at some point in the story, and The Rock can't.
And
lose
I
his
think
contract.
what you're talking about, though, I believe, he puts it in his, I guess, in his contract for movies or something like that. But it's just like, I don't know. Like you were saying, like at some point, you got to start with that villain thing. Like to use another comparison, Vegeta in Dragon Ball Z does not work if he's not a villain first. Like his story as being, Goku's rival and all that doesn't work if we don't start with him as a villain. So it's just,
honestly,
you got to get there.
That's the story of Dragon Ball. Is Goku converts everyone because Yamcha was originally a bandit, a villain, not to the extent of a Vegeta. Then you have King Piccolo, then later Piccolo Jr., the main Piccolo we know. And then just about every single villain in the series, he's either converted, like Android 17 and 18. They're good guys now, but they were villain origin stories. And you would need to tell that villain origin story, like in the first movie at least. And then the second film, you can transition to maybe pivoting over to an anti-hero role.
Yeah.
Alpha saying, yeah, I think WB feared Black Adam being too obscure that they couldn't trust the material and could only rely on the actor. They both are guilty of the failings.
Yes, which is why you put him in fucking Shazam first. Like
he didn't want to be in Shazam.
I know, which is why you do it with somebody else. Like that's my point. Like you just don't do it with The Rock. I love The Rock. I'm happy that The Rock has these kind of roles, but it's just like, in this situation, it would have been better for Warner Brothers to not use The Rock because it was just not worth it.
I honestly was not a fan of The Rock in the Black Adam suit, not because he couldn't fill it out, but because I didn't think he looked too much like the comic depictions of Black Adam. Black Adam usually has either pointy ears or he has more of a buzz cut, but he has hair.
I'm not as caught up on that kind of stuff, but it's to me the story is what matters to me, and it just not great. But
he also says that's why I trust what Gunn will do, because he can craft a story with any character at this point. Like, how do you have us caring for Polka Dot Man?
The Suicide Squad was a fun movie, man. Like,
I did not give a fuck about Polka Dot Man prior to that. I didn't even know he was a thing.
Yeah.
He did the same thing with the Guardians. No one really cared about the Guardians like that in the MCU.
Most people didn't know who they were. Like,
exactly.
It's one of those things. Even me as a comic book person, I had heard of them, but I didn't know anything about them specifically.
JJ says it was because he couldn't fill out Vince. That was on your mind. Well, maybe he just couldn't fill it out, I guess.
All right, let's see what else we got here. Have you heard all the scuttlebutt about Wheel of Fortune?
I haven't actually. Wait, isn't there like some issues about who's going to host it now, or where it's going to?
Well, there's no issues. We know who's going to host. But yeah, we know Pat Sajak's walking away. But this article comes from New York Post from Andrew Court. So Ryan Seacrest, 48, was announced Tuesday as Pat Sajak's replacement. I'm not sure why they have to tell us people's ages here, but apparently that's important. But Ryan Seacrest, 48, was announced Tuesday as Pat Sajak's replacement on Wheel of Fortune, following the veteran host's retirement next year. However, it remains to be seen whether Sajak's longtime letter turner, Vanna White, 66, will be joining Seacrest on the revamped program. Again, why do we need their ages? I just don't understand. White, who has appeared,
maybe there's an age requirement. You have to be old, at least in your 40s, to be able to be eligible for this. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. White, who has appeared on Wheel since 1982, has reportedly lawyered up in the wake of Sajak's retirement news, and amid claims she hasn't had a pay raise in 18 years. That's a long time ago without a raise. According to Puck News, White has been making around $3 million a year since 2005 and has received only bonuses, not raises, during that time period. Okay, so she's been getting some extra money. She just hasn't got an official raise. Payjack 76 is purportedly paid far more handsomely for his duties. In 2016, Forbes reported that he earned $15 million a year from the show. Now White is said to have hired aggressive powerhouse attorney Brian Friedman, who has represented a slew of Hollywood heavyweights during disputes with the TV networks that employ them. But yeah, there's more to this, but yeah. Vanna White's got a lawyer now. I guess she's trying to get more money and make sure she keep her job or what. Let me just say, I'm all about, people getting paid, equal pay for equal work and all that. But when's the last time you watched Wheel of Fortune, Vince?
I'm not really a Wheel of Fortune kind of guy. I'm more of Family Feud.
Okay. So what do you know about what Vanna White does on Wheel of Fortune?
Does he spin the wheel?
No. So
I have no idea what he does.
Vanna White, the co-host, the lady.
Oh, okay. I have no idea what she does.
Yeah. So when the show first started, her job was to just look pretty and walk across the board and turn over the letters when they light up. That was her job.
Oh.
Okay? Now she don't even do that. Like, because everything is all digital now, she just walks across and touches the letter, and it touches the spot, and the letter comes up. They can 100% do this without her there, but they're paying her $3 million to do it every year. Let me tell you, that is a sweet gig. You can pay $3 million to walk across the screen and touch and touch and touch. That is all she does.
Letter.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
She don't even have to talk. Pat Sajak has to talk and be personable and all that. She just has to smile and touch the letters. Does she talk more now? She does? Okay.
Wow.
Okay. I didn't know. I haven't watched Wheel of Fortune in a very long time, so I could be wrong. Well, if she talks more now, then okay. Okay.
For research purposes, we should go back and watch the latest episode of the Wheel of Fortune, just to compare and contrast what her actual job duties are.
Yeah. I mean, and here's the thing: if she can get more money, I'm all about people getting their money. So get it.
Yeah, go ahead, do you? If you can do it, by all means, go for it.
100. All right, let's see. Want to watch one more trailer before we get out of here, Will?
I certainly will.
All right. Yeah, she definitely is. I'm just saying for $3 million to do that is a sweet gig. All right. It's just
very true.
You would get no complaints out of most people. But here we go. Got another Friday Night at Freddys trailer here.
Hi, this is Mike. I was just calling to see if that job that you offered was still available.
Yes. The security guard.
I will take anything.
This place was huge in the 80s with the kids. They shut it down years ago. The owner's just not ready to let it go yet.
I will work and you will sleep.
I understand.
So he bringing her in there with him.
Why would you bring a child with you?
All you have to
every night is bring your child to work day.
Keep your eyes on the monitor.
Melissa says, why not?
Welcome to Freddys Fazbear's, where fantasy and fun come to life.
Okay.
You must be new security guard.
Can I help you, officer?
Have you met them yet?
I beg your fucking pardon?
Them.
Yes, this is the Friday Night at Freddys movie.
Kids went missing. The police searched Freddys top to bottom.
Hello?
They never found them. That's why the place shut down.
There are ghost children possessing giant robots. Thanks for the heads up.
Why did that kid have a hook for a hand?
Technically, they're animatronics.
Captain Hook's child?
They want to
His
make
offspring?
like them.
So, because he got his hand chopped off, his kid is born without.
Yeah, why not? If there's no like good jump scares in this movie, it would have failed. It fails in my opinion. Isn't the whole point of Five Nights at Freddy is all the jump scares? Oh, looks like I was taking the page out of a Saw.
Why do I always get the weirdos?
That's funny.
Okay.
It's not a bad film.
That's a no thank you from me, but yeah.
I might be watching
on Peacock in October, y'all. So
well, there you go. It's straight to Peacock release. I might go ahead and check it out. Might be checking it out by myself because anything horror related, I'm usually watching it solo. But no, yeah. I mean, it looks all right. It looks decent.
Yeah. Not in on that one, but I am in on this show and in on you all being here. I thank you very much. That'll be it for today. Don't forget, you can catch us on all the socials, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter at It's Creatia World. That is at ITSCREATIA World. Also on Facebook at facebook.com/Creatia World. And while you're there, you should check out our Facebook groups, one of them being facebook.com/group/Them Dragons. If you're a fan of Game of Thrones or House of the Dragon, hop on in there. Share your Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon memes. We'll have a good time. Also, if you just have a cool picture of a dragon, just drop a cool picture of the dragon in there, and that'll make me happy. And, making me happy helps me make everybody else happy, So do that. But if you're a wrestling fan, you want to check out facebook.com/group/Smacking It Raw. It is the official Facebook group for our wrestling podcast, Smacking It Raw, every Friday night at midnight, 11 p.m. Central Time, every Friday night. Check that out, featuring the Lord Matt Ritter, Katie Kinsey Bebe, and, of course, Vince Day Delgado here.
Yeah, check out this Friday night. We'll be recording live on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. There we'll be celebrating our 300th episode, so go ahead and check us out. Tune in live. It's exciting.
Yes.
Big things popping, little things stopping, as MVP says.
T.I. said it first, but yeah.
No. I'm trying to make a wrestling.
I hear you. But there was a lot of that happening with MVP, where he took stuff from famous rappers and all that and said it on wrestling where people didn't really see it, and he was just try to make it seem like it was him. And nah, that ain't you, dude.
Nah.
It's okay. I like MVP. Don't get me wrong. I like MVP, but yeah. That's what was happening there. But what's happening here is the Creatia Conversation. That's it for today. We'll be back again tomorrow. It'll be me and Mara tomorrow. We'll have the return of the Creatia comic moment and all that. But until then, we out.